Hey everyone, in the last 3 weeks I've been working on a bunch of stuff. I put the intro video just before this showing the current state. I tried to demo everything I worked on. I might have forgotten some stuff, but yeah, there was a few things that are done, like the new gun models, that HUD, the mod slots, the new agent images, and there's two which I'll go through. Uh, and then when you activate the mods, there's a new HUD. So yeah, that's basically what I was trying to demo, and a few extra things. But yeah, I'll go into it per each section, and I don't think I'll talk as much this video. So let's get into it. So the first thing I started to work on was changing the bullet models. So here I was just demoing the new, this is one of the new bullets. That's the 7.62 bullets. So I've still got to do the 9mm, but there's this 7.62 and there's also cobalt charge bullets. So that it's just those two at the moment. The next thing I got around to doing was starting to work on the gun models. So this first one, the 7.62 old world gun, I did the 3D, well, the textures for the 3D model. I I did record the whole creating the textures process. There's about 2 hours worth, and I was gonna include in this video sped up, but I decided not to add it. It's just, yeah, me going through slowly, painstakingly adding the texture for this gun. Now at this stage, there was also the gun you see at the in the world there, not the dropped gun, but in the HUD. That in here it was an image, but I've since changed that to be the actual 3D gun, the exact same one that you see when you drop it on the ground. So yeah, that's the current state here. That first gun was added and all textured. Even in the UI, all those images were added for this first gun. And then I added a drop functionality for the guns. So that's this section here. You can drop it from your UI just by dragging it off. You can just click the drop item button or just press a hotkey to drop the gun. And then, yeah, that's all added for that. The next part included with that drop functionality, the video will talk for itself, I guess, but just the sound cues when you drop the gun and pick it up, yeah, the video you'll hear. So the next thing I worked on was the bullet positions from fire. So in earlier videos, you would have seen when it was slow motion, even when it's not slow motion, the bullets will fire from the screen position, like the center of the screen. And when it's normal time, the the bullets will still fire from your basically your eyes, but when you slow time, it will switch to using the gun's position. Now I still have to adjust this, and this will be part of the next part I work on for the next video probably. But like here, you'll start seeing the bullets are coming from where the gun is. Now once I get it properly, it should appear from where the tip of the gun is, where you, so in real life, where you'd expect to see the bullet come from. So yeah, with that adjustment. Now from this video, it's using this new gun position, which is a bit off, but it's the starting works for it. Now the problem with getting it to come from the gun's position and then go to where you're aiming is where you're aiming is different based on the distance the world object is. So it's easy from the screen, you're just using the player's position, and then the direction is the player's position to your aim direction. But when you're going from the gun's position, which is, let's say, slightly lower and to the right, then you can use that same direction, but the aim will be off in the same amount that the gun position is from your camera. So to correct it, you need to have an adjustment to your vector, and that adjustment is different based on the distance of the object that you're looking at. So if you look at, say, the tree when you're close, you want the bullet to still go to where you're aiming on the tree. So the aim direction vector is very different to the one from your eye. But if you're looking at something in the distance, the aim direction vector from your gun to that object is only slightly different. So with that, I've added this aim distance calculation. So this video is just showing it how it works a bit, and it's not perfect. That's why I'm not using it for when it's normal speed, because like if you're, say, looking at the tree firing and then you quickly look in the distance, some of your bullets will look like they're going in different directions, but that is the accurate calculation it needs to make. So yeah, that's this video kind of demoing that. Yeah, so after that was started to work on adding this recoil effect. It's very simple at the moment, and at the point of this recording, it was just a slower drop. So when after you fire, it realigns to the base position. I've sped that up a bit. So the code section here, this is pretty much what I was explaining. When it's shot from the head, you just have so the bullet is spawned at the cam position, which is where your eyes are. And then this is just how I've structured my bullet class, but the next line, that cam target minus cam position, that's your aim direction. So cam target, for what I've set up, it's just your aim vector basically, but it's normalized. So if you're looking, say, directly down the z-axis, that's a 0, 0, 1 vector. Or if you're looking down the x-axis, it's 1, 0, 0. You know, it's just that aim direction normalized. So that cam target is it's always at 1 unit, or I don't know the terminology, but it's always at 1. So if you're always in the center and you spin around, it kind of draws a circle around you. So that cam target minus cam position, that creates your vector direction for the bullet. And then, yeah, you've got that extra stuff that I pass in, the 3D model, the texture, the speed of the bullet, the type and damage. There's just extra things that I used and will be using So that's the shot from the head. But then when you're in slow time, so when in that else block, when time dilation is not equal to 1, which for what I've set up, that means you're in slow time. Now that uses the difference is, see in that first part, it's cam position plus gun holding position. So that's just that extra offset from your position to where the gun is. And that, yeah, I'll need to adjust more to get it visually correct. So it starts the bullet at that position, and then the aim direction, that next section, where you see cam target minus cam position, and then you have the extra section, then minus gun holding position divided by the player aim distance, and that adds that offset kind of in the direction. So that's this part here. And then this one here, this is how I'm calculating the player aim distance. It's this, I've added this ray intersects OBB distance with your aim ray and the OBB. And this is the ray intersects OBB distance method I've added. I won't talk about this too much because I've talked about in a lot of the older videos, OBBs, creating the OBBs and using separating axis theorem to get your collision detection. This one, it's just using the MonoGame's rays, so you don't have to create any type of ray there at least, but yeah, it's using the oriented bounding box class that I've created there, and then uses that to get the distance. So yeah, this is the code for that if you wanted to see it. And then after that, I started to add the more guns and textures. So here you'll start seeing some new guns, and there's 2 videos here. There's this one which had some of the textures I was playing around with, and then I changed the textures, and especially that gun, the Griffin pistol, you'll see. I changed that model as well, so I removed that back part from the model, and yeah, played around with the textures more. So this was the first textures I started to put in those new gun models. And then here I've changed them again, including the wood crates. You see them slightly different as well there. And the gun. Yeah, it's a bit... I think even after this, I changed them a bit more. But yeah, they're close to what you see here anyway. And yeah, in that video at the start, that's pretty much how it is as of these audio recordings. Then after all that, I started to work on the inventory. Well, this video here is going into the save functionality of the inventory. So like depending when you change levels, it does a save and then load again to retain your inventory state and your ammo capacities. And then that is the same if you try to load a save game again, or autosave or load the autosave. So that was actually came harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be a fairly simple thing, but there was a lot of extra mucking around with the autosave, especially with the level transitions as well. And then what I had to do for the level transitions is autosave before you level transition, and then autosave again, so that after the transition, if you decide to load the autosave, it still has the relevant like player position in the new level and all the correct gun stats. So yeah, it was just a bunch of mucking around for that, but yeah, it's working with that. So yeah, after all that, started adding the mod slots into the inventory. So as you see there, there's now the head mod, eyes mod, everything. You've got some images for the new mods, and then you can equip them. So as you see in this video, I equipped it to the head, so now I don't have to use the console menu anymore to grant me the mod. So now it's just, you can equip the mods, and it's only one way at the moment. You can only equip them to your body, and you can't drop them from your body or unequip them yet. And I might keep it that way, but that's this section here is showing that, and the new that new side panel there. You might have seen it in the other videos. And then so that was the other thing. There's two agents images. You've got this man one, and a very similar one, a woman with the same kind of body shape, so that I didn't have to change the positions of everything. It's just, that same kind of image being modified a bit. In this one, I'll let the video play for itself, but these are all the new sound effects associated with the mods and the HUD. And then another thing I added, this was fairly straightforward, but this was the crouching. So you can crouch and stand, and the player height will change based on crouch. It's not just the camera position. So when you crouch, you'll be able to fit into the smaller holes in the world if you need to. So how I have it, the full player height is 1.95 meters, so they can fit just under 2 meter high segments, and then when they crouch it becomes 1.15. So yeah, they'll fit in under 1.2 meter gaps. Not exactly 1 meter, but it's more realistic. And then the last thing, this is a slight adjustment, but the player movement now is based off acceleration slightly instead of just velocity completely. So it it's not really noticeable, but I was trying to show it here. But it helps a bit when you just tap your movement. You'll only there's it's very hard to notice, but comparing this to how it was before was a really snappy movement. Here I've put the acceleration at a higher amount so that um, the acceleration still snaps to the max velocity anyway, but I was hoping to get it to ramp up the speed only maybe within 0.25 seconds. And that is, like, I noticed it the most when I was trying to get screenshots of the weapons. So yeah, it kind of to fix that kind of snap movement. And then yeah, I'll show you the code segments for that. Yeah, and this is just the code for that here. So originally this was velocity.x and .z, and this I've just put the move forward, but it's similar for move back, left and right. You just have to change how you, so here for x, it's plus equal the cosine, and then yeah, minus equal the sine. This is for moving forward, and then it's slightly different for moving back or left and right. So this is, yeah. So here, as you see, I'm incrementing or decrementing the acceleration when you've pressed your key forward. And that, so the divide 15, so in cases, so I originally had it at divide 60, uh, and that it kind of made it feel like you're very slowly changing your velocity. So I didn't. It was good for like if you're walking on ice to have that effect, but I still wanted it to be snappy. So yeah, that's I've it's not really this divide by 15. It's just it's kind of, I don't know the word, but it's just relevant to my scenario in the game anyway. So but yeah, as you see here, that cosine and sine is what the sections. If you're ever doing a movement type system in 3D space, and that extra part where I'm dividing by 15 multiplied move speed multi and base move speed is, so divide the 15 is just this a static number that will adjust how you accelerate and decelerate in the world, and then move speed multi I'm using for when you, like, one of the mods increases your move speed. So when that mod is active, your move speed multi goes from 1 to 1.5, and then your base move speed is used when, so when you're running normally, it's 1, or when you're crouching, it'll be half. So I kept them separate as well because I had a bit of uh, muck around when you're crouching, and then you modify your move speed multi when you activate the mod, and so it just worked better to keep them separate anyway. And then yeah, I haven't added it yet, but for the next video, I'm going to be adding a walk keybind, and then so probably like, you press shift to walk or something, and that's also will change your base move speed. And then so yeah, those crouching and walking are things that'll be, yeah, it's part of the stealth mechanics part of the gameplay anyway, which yeah hasn't been implemented yet. But yeah, that's all this, and that's everything I worked on for the last 3 weeks. I was yeah, I did quite a bit of stuff, and usually I was gonna do once every 2 weeks, but yeah, kind of segmented here with the work that I've been working on anyway. Plus, I got a bit sick a few weeks ago, and that stopped progress. Uh, but yeah, so thanks for watching. There's a few new things in the next video I'll be excited to show.